Google has killed almost 300 of their products over the years, and in just 2023 so far, Google has already killed 6 of their products and has 4 more scheduled to die in the coming months. Some of these services are almost 20 years old, so why is Google getting rid of them? In this video, we will be going over these 10 products, what they did, and why they're being deleted. Starting with Google OnHub, which was killed at the start of the year and was over 7 years old. OnHub was a router with mesh networking and was supposed to be built for the future, which didn't age well. As of now, the routers still give out a Wi-Fi signal, but you can't change the settings or even access them through the app, which has been taken down, making the routers pretty much useless. And the reason they were removed was, well, because they didn't work as promised and no one really liked them. Next up on the list, we've got Google Stadia, which is something many people have probably heard of. It was a cloud gaming service which promised 4K resolution and 60 FPS. Without needing all the high-end hardware to run it. And at launch, it offered games such as Assassin's Creed, Cyberpunk, and Destiny 2, and they all ran pretty well. Not quite what was promised, but still good quality. So despite this success, how did they end up failing? The main reason is pricing and competition. Stadia needed a subscription to be able to play many of its games and use its premium features, and the bigger games on the platform were overpriced compared to other competitors such as Xbox Cloud Gaming and PlayStation Now. Both of these platforms were already established and offered many more games for a lesser price. So ultimately that caused Google to shut down Stadia on January 18th of 2023. Next up, we've got Google Code Competitions. This started in 2003, meaning it was over 19 years old when it got shut down. It was a very popular event in which many developers competed for many prizes, such as gifts from Google, cash, or even a chance to work there, which can be absolutely life-changing. So why did this get shut down despite all the success? The reason is that it just isn't really needed anymore and is more of a money waste than anything. When Google first created the competitions, they were a much smaller company and these competitions helped bring in software engineers. But now that Google is such a well-known company, these coding programs aren't needed to find employees and are just a waste of money because of their many costs, such as the staff, the cost of the venues, the prizes, and the travel costs for everyone, and they do not need all of that in the upcoming recession. The next product on the list is very interesting. It's called Jacquard, and its aim was to create clothing that could interact with technology through special conductive threads woven into the clothing itself, and all this could be connected via a Jacquard tag. It was supposed to make life easier by allowing people to just skip a song with tapping their shoulder, swiping their sleeves, or whatever else they wanted. It could all be controlled through the app, but all support was ended after 9 years due to lack of interest in the product, since it really isn't that hard to take an extra 2 seconds to pull out your phone, and the lack of clothing brands willing to create specific clothing for this technology, with only 5 brands ever actually making any products for the device. Next up is something that only kinda got half deleted, so let me explain. Many people have probably heard of Google Street View, but did you know there was a special app just for that? Well, it got deleted on the 23rd of March after over 12 years of it being up, but the Street View feature isn't gone yet. It's still available on Google Maps and Google Earth. They just got rid of the standalone app for it, which didn't really make much sense in the first place. This next one is something a lot of people probably haven't heard of as it is fairly new. It's called Google Currents and was created in 2019 around the time of the COVID-19 pandemic. It was something similar to Microsoft Teams in which companies or organizations could organize their teams and employees and be a form of communication for them. It sounds pretty useful, So why is it getting closed? Well, it's getting replaced by Spaces, which is something very similar and wouldn't require the users to have to switch between it and Google Chat like they had to do previously. The next product on the list is also something most people have never heard of. It's called Conversational Actions, and it is quite interesting. It extended the functionality of Google Assistant by allowing people to create custom experiences. It allowed developers to create ways for businesses to connect with users, such as chatbots, or for users to just ask it stuff or help them with things like Google Assistant. And Google Assistant is also the reason that Google is getting rid of Conversational Actions. Google stated that they're going to fully get rid of Conversational Actions in June this year so they can focus on Google Assistant. The next product Google is going to get rid of this year is Grasshopper. And no, I'm not talking about the animal. Grasshopper is an app that is for programmers, kinda similar to the code competitions they got rid of this year. But instead, Grasshopper is for beginners. It's a free app that helps teach complete beginners how to code. So while it is nice, it had to unfortunately be shut down due to Google cutting spending due to the upcoming recession, very similar to the code competitions. This next product is getting shut down in August, and it's called Google Cloud IoT Core, with the IoT standing for Internet of Things. This service allowed users to manage interconnected devices and services and help build applications for a variety of things over the cloud. But unfortunately, it wasn't able to meet all the needs of the users, and that is why they are shutting it down. And finally, we have Google Optimize, which is shutting down in September towards the end of the year. Google Optimize is a web analytics and testing tool, which is helpful for marketers and website owners to increase conversions on their websites and just make them more successful in general. It offered a very good and popular tool called A/B testing, which is where they would show two different versions of something to different people, and they could track that data and determine what worked better. It was also the leading A/B testing tool, so it being shut down was very surprising news. Google stated that they're shutting it down to focus on making it better through a different tool called Google Analytics 4. So it seems like they aren't actually getting rid of it, they're just giving it a different place, similar to some of the other products on this list.